You scoop your dog's poop every single time. Rain, snow, dark, inconvenient, doesn't matter. You bend down, bag in hand, and you do what responsible humans do. So let me ask you something. Why doesn't everyone? See, there's this thing that happens in every neighborhood, every park, every shared space where dogs exist. There are people who pick up after their pets, and then there are people who don't. And here's what nobody wants to say out loud. The ones who don't scoop aren't forgetting. They're not confused about social norms. They know exactly what they're doing. This is about entitlement. Pure, distilled, I'm more important than you entitlement. Because every time someone walks away from their dog's waste on a public sidewalk, they're making a declaration. My convenience matters more than your experience. My 10 seconds matters more than your shoe, your kid's hands, your wheelchair wheels. That's the transaction. And they've decided it's worth it. Now you might be thinking this is about laziness. It's not. Lazy people don't walk their dogs 3 times a day. These are people who put in effort. Just selective effort. They'll buy the expensive food, the designer collar, post the cute photos. But when it comes to the one act that directly impacts other people, suddenly they can't be bothered. That's not lazy, that's strategic. Here's the pattern underneath. Small violations predict bigger ones. Someone who leaves dog waste on a playground isn't just careless. They're testing boundaries. They're finding out what they can get away with in a world that mostly runs on the honor system. And when nobody stops them, when there's no consequence, they learn something valuable. Rules are for other people. There's actually a term for this in psychology. It's called the broken windows theory. One small violation, left unaddressed, signals that nobody cares. And when nobody cares, the violations get bigger. It starts with dog poop on the sidewalk. It ends with entire neighborhoods where nobody respects anything anymore. Because if you won't do the bare minimum, what will you do? But here's what makes this particular brand of entitlement so insidious. It hides behind plausible deniability. Oh, I forgot a bag. Oh, I didn't see it happen. Oh, it's biodegradable. These aren't reasons. They're excuses designed to deflect the one truth nobody wants to admit. They just don't care about you. And you know this because you've seen it. The person who makes eye contact with you, watches their dog squat, and then casually walks away. That's not an accident. That's a choice. A deliberate choice that says, I see you watching, and I still don't care. It's passive-aggressive territory marking. Except the territory they're marking is your space, your community, your reality. Now contrast that with you. You, who carries bags, even when you're rushing. You, who picks up after your dog in the rain at 6 in the morning when nobody's watching. You, who sometimes picks up waste that isn't even yours because you can't stand the idea of someone stepping in it. That's not just responsibility. That's respect for the social contract. The unspoken agreement that says, we share this space so we take care of it together. But the non-scoopers, they've opted out of that contract. They take the benefits, the nice park, the clean sidewalks you maintain, and they give nothing back. They're free riders. And the only reason the system works at all is because enough people like you keep doing the right thing even when others won't. Here's what's really happening. Every person who doesn't scoop is making a bet. They're betting that you won't confront them. They're betting that social norms around politeness will protect them from consequences. And here's the thing. They're usually right. Because confronting someone about dog poop feels petty. It feels small. So you don't say anything. You just silently judge them, step around the mess, and move on with your day. And they know this. They're counting on it. Your discomfort with confrontation is their permission slip. But let's talk about what this behavior actually reveals. When someone consistently refuses to clean up after their dog, they're telling you something about how they move through the world. They believe rules apply to other people. They believe their minor inconvenience outweighs everyone else's major disgust. They believe they're special. And that specialness exempts them from basic human decency. Now, some of them will justify it. It's natural, it'll decompose. Sure, in 6 months to a year, depending on conditions. Meanwhile, it's a biohazard sitting on a playground. Or they'll say, I pay taxes, someone else will clean it. Ah, yes, the invisible poop fairy employed by the city. Except that's not how this works. There is no one else. There's just you, doing the right thing, and them, taking advantage of that. And here's where it gets interesting. These same people, the ones who can't be bothered to pick up waste, they'll be the first ones to complain when someone else violates their space. Loud neighbors, parking disputes, someone's trash blowing into their yard. Suddenly, community standards matter. Suddenly, other people's behavior is unacceptable. The hypocrisy is almost impressive. Because what they don't understand, or maybe they do and just don't care, is that every act of negligence chips away at community trust. You stop talking to neighbors. You stop using shared spaces. You start to believe that nobody gives a damn about anyone else. And maybe you're right, but only because people like them made it true. So here's what you need to understand. When you pick up after your dog, you're not just being responsible. You're holding the line. You're proving that some people still believe in shared dignity, in mutual respect, in the idea that we're all in this together. And yeah, it's thankless. Nobody's giving you awards for doing what you're supposed to do. But that's exactly the point. The non-scoopers, they need an audience, a justification, a reason why the rules don't apply. You don't need any of that. You do it because it's right, because you understand something they don't. Civilization isn't built by people who do the bare minimum when someone's watching. It's built by people who do the right thing when nobody is. That's the real difference. Not dog owners versus irresponsible dog owners. People who care about the world they live in versus people who only care about themselves. And every time you bend down with that bag, in the rain, in the cold, when you're tired and rushed and nobody's looking, you're voting for the kind of world you want to live in. The question isn't why they don't scoop. You already know why. The question is, how long are you going to let their contempt define your community? That's how it works.